Reviewing the menu from Drink Kong in Rome. It is the first solo project of one of the Eternal City's most famous bartenders, Patrick Pistolesi. The venue reminds you of Japan, of Blade Runner. There's neon, but not too much. It's quite intense. It's not quite a sit-down cocktail bar, but it's not quite a club, but it's definitely like futuristic sexy. First impressions. So the menu is black. It has a white gorilla on one side and it has a black, like engraved gorilla on the other, which is a bit confusing because I almost thought that you had to read from right to left like they do in Japan, which makes sense. But in reality, that's like a little weird. New humans. No new humans, Drink Kong. Okay, we are the new humans. Very Avengers, the Inhumans. Okay, something Italian. Google Translate is your best buddy here. First page in, we've got the concept of the menu here, a picture of Earth. They're talking about evocative symbolization, about 5 different archetypes of flavor as they see it. Pretty conceptual stuff. Okay, we have a drink map. Next page. New Mami, Holus, Kudamono, Herbs and Tsukoshi. And shapes. I have no idea what's going on. New Mami. Let me get my Google Translate out again. An illustration of some sort. Orange color. Enki. Silk Storm. Tankri Tenjin. That's it. Wow, that is bold. You only know the base spirit. This reminds me of the menu from Milan that I had reviewed a month or so ago. But from what I'm told, Patrick actually created these menus before that menu was released. Illustration, one color is highlighted, everything else is desaturated. Leaf of Faith, puns. Freshly Light, Freya, Nordic Shore, Grey Goose Vodka. Nordic Shore and the Goddess of Earth, Freya, have got so much in common with Grey Goose Vodka, especially when they're combined with a picture of a monkey. Sure. What is happening here? A new vision of Italian drinking. That's a bold statement to make. You guys love your traditions. I get it. I get the concept. I'm gonna skip. Ingredients and glasses. This is interesting. If you want to know what's actually in the drink, you can go to the back of the menu and there's a full disclosure available. Well, there's Midori in this, so 5 points for that. Ume cordial sounds weird. Parmesan water sounds slightly gross. Lettuce cordial. Edelflower syrup. I found one. I found a spelling mistake. Well, there you go. First impressions. And we out of there. Okay, welcome to the practical section of the menu. Now, without further ado, let's get some details regarding the menu itself out of the way. The menu has 61 pages, which is quite fucking long. It's got 21 drinks, all between 8 and 16 euros. And it's about A5 in size and weighs roughly 16 frozen gyozas. The menu is laid out in 5 sections. And without fucking it up, I'm just gonna read out the names for you. You've got New Mami, you've got Holus, you've got Kudamono, Herbs and Tsukoshi. There you go. But when you translate what those are in the descriptions, you basically have umami, vegetal, fruity, bitter/herbal, and light. You make up your own mind. It also features 2 little cool details such as a drink map, and it has a page for the glassware as well as the ingredients list, because the normal layout doesn't feature the full ingredients. Now that's out of the way, let's move on to pros and cons. Pro number 1 is the minimalist layout of the menu. You have the name, you have the little like hook, you've got the price, you've got the main base spirit. Pretty easy. Pro number 2, the sectioning. They've got 5 sections, they've got names, they've got little descriptors at the beginning of every section, which is great because it gives you an understanding of what the fuck you're looking at. Overall, they've handled that well. There's color coordination, just lovely. Pro number 3 is the drink map and the full disclosure section, where you know exactly what ingredients go into every single cocktail, as well as what glassware it comes in. I think that's a really good way to help guests navigate around a menu that's quite long. And pro number 4 is that they have a QR code at the end of the menu, which is A, good during coronavirus, and B, allows people to take the menu home, so they don't have to steal it. But there's always cons. Con number 1. And that it's 61 pages long and yet there's no contents page. So I don't really know where one section starts or finishes. You just have to keep flicking through the fucking book over and over and over and over and over again. Con number 2 is the section names. I understand it's part of this new human concept, but Kudamono, Tsukoshi, none of that shit makes sense to me, and that's the first thing I see on the second page, with no real explanation why are they called this. Con number 3, yes, we are given the base spirit in the drinks layout, but there's no ingredients list. Unless you flicked all the way to the end of the menu and you see that there's an ingredients list section. You know what I mean? Con number 4 is that the descriptors can be really confusing and give you nothing towards what the drink's about. Maybe it's some sort of emotional connection, but like, here's an example. The descriptor is institutional. Institutional what? Like government? Or university? What does university taste like? I feel like I just don't get it. Practical standpoint, I end up asking more questions than I have answers, and it's not making my choice any easier. Con number 5 is the use of 2 different languages, but not explaining enough of either. You've got 5 different sections, the concept is written in Italian, the sections are written in Italian, and yet you describe the drinks in English. Like you're 1 foot there and 1 foot there. Now let's move on to visual. Visually, the New Humans menu from Drink Kong definitely sets a bar. They work with a designer. There's multiple fonts, there's multiple color combinations, there's all of these illustrations and verticals and stuff like that. Even though the menu is 61 pages long, you're never actually bored. So let's move on to visual pros and cons. Pro number 1 is that every page has some sort of illustration or photography to keep your mind engaged. Pro number 2 is the use of very striking high quality photography in their menu. Very often I find myself looking and exploring the images. Pro number 3 is the use of the Kong mascot. It's a very good logo, it's very strong, and it's very playful. But there are some cons. Con number 1, the images that they used as a sort of inspiration to the drink, when they're not direct, for example, Cobra Kai with a cobra, or the Bitter Apes with a monkey, sometimes they feel very at random. And con number 2 is that they have these vertical line illustrations for every section. There's like this image. I understand it's meant to be symbolism, but why is it there? What has it got to do with anything? Overall, I really enjoy the visual aspect of this menu. So let's move on to Conceptual. Before we get stuck into pros and cons, let's talk about the concept of the bar itself. It's not quite a cocktail bar, it's not quite a club, it's 1 foot into both. Blade Runner, dark, Asian inspired, Drink Kong, you get my drift. The concept of the menu is New Humans, an interpretation of symbolism and flavor. So let's get into pros and cons. Pro number 1, the concept definitely matches the venue. From a soul perspective, from a heart perspective, like peanut butter and jelly, or like pineapple on pizza. Don't kill me for that one, Italians. Overall, there's not much more to comment with regards to conceptual pros, so I'll move on to cons. And then one major con is that I feel like there's 3 concepts in one. There is the overarching Japanese King Kong, Asian sort of inspired concept. There is this New Humans concept with flavor, and then there's this visual concept with regards to combining these made up words with these images. It's like the bartenders, the bar manager, the designer came together, thought of the idea of New Humans from the Drink Kong umbrella, then they all fucked off in their own different things. One made good drinks, the other one came up with this cool little layout, and then the third person came up with these amazing images and these amazing illustrations, and they came together, put them together, didn't discuss how they might look as one unit, and here you go. As a closing statement, the best way to describe the New Humans menu from Drink Kong for me is that I feel I've stumbled into an LA art gallery full of pretentious assholes who look at paintings and go, yes, the artist was trying to contemplate the meaning of life. Patrick, you're 2 meters tall, 2 meters wide, don't beat the shit out of me. The menu is great.